Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everybody, I hope that you're doing well. Today we're going to work on Surah Al-INFITAR, or the cleaving, which is the 82nd Surah of Al-Quran Al-Kareem. Surah Al-INFITAR is made of 19 ayat, 19 verses. Surah Al-INFITAR, its main subject are the afterlife, the last judgment day, and the state of humankind on that day. Surah Al-INFITAR describes the terrifying beginning of the judgment day, and Surah Al-INFITAR addresses humankind's ingratitude and refusal to accept and acknowledge the inevitable day of judgment. Surah Al-INFITAR was revealed in Mecca. Usually Meccan surahs mostly focus on the basics of Islam, like the oneness of God and the judgment day. Surah Al-INFITAR derives its name from the word infatarat, cited in the first verse. Al-INFITAR means to cleave, to burst, or to split in two, implying that it is the splitting of the sky which is mentioned in the surah. According to exegetes of Islam, our Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad would have said that whoever wants to see the day of resurrection as if he saw it with his own eyes must read Surah Al-Takwir, Surah Al-INFITAR, and Surah Al-Inshiqaq. Indeed, these surahs are similar, and together they give a very clear vision of the last day. Surah Al-INFITAR describes with clarity and precision the main stages of the day of resurrection, the signs of the hours, as well as the trials that man will have to face. Everyone will be responsible for his deeds. Surah Al-INFITAR reveals that each person will see what he has or what she has done in this world. Now I'm going to translate Surah Al-INFITAR ayah by ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the specially merciful. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انْفَطَرَتْ, when the sky cracks and splits. وَإِذَا الْكَوَاكِبُ انْتَطَرَتْ, and when the stars scatter around. وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ فُجِّرَتْ, and when the seas swells up and get mixed up with one another. وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْتِرَتْ, and when the graves are turned upside down. عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ وَأَخَّرَتْ, every soul had come to know what it has presented, what it has done, and what it has delayed or what it has not done. From ayah 1 to ayah 5 in Surah Al-INFITAR, these verses perfectly outline the hereafter, the day of resurrection, and all the dreadful events that will occur. In that day, a violent and terrifying change will devastate the universe, and the perfect system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in place will no longer exist. How all of these will unfold is only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What we know of our world today will no longer be operational. On the day of judgment, the sky will be split apart. The stars will scatter around the universe, and the seas, the oceans, will confound their waters. The graves will be turned over, the tombs will be turned upside down, and their contents exposed and scattered. People resurrected to stand up to face accountability. Each soul will be confronted with what it has accomplished, what it has postponed or neglected and failed to do. This turmoil will not stop there, as some will face terrifying consequences because of their actions. When all these things happen, then every soul will know what it has accomplished. يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم. O human, what is it that tempts or conceits you from your Lord the most gracious? الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك. And He, your Lord, created you, then designed you, then gave you due proportions, made you balanced and healthy. في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. In whatever form He willed, He constituted you. He gave you a different form to each by putting together different genetic codes. كلا بل تكذبون بالدين. Nay, but you belie the religion. وَإِنَّا عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ, and most surely they are protecting angels over you. كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ, as honorable recorders, honorable scribes. يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ, they know what you do. From Ayah 6 to Ayah 12, these verses invite man to question his relation with Islam, his belief, and his faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned mankind by asking, what are these things that have distanced man from his Lord, his Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that it is Allah who created us. He molded us and harmoniously shaped mankind. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who adjusted us and endowed us with an average stature, with a physiognomy, harmonious forms, and made us stand tall. Then, what prevents men from fulfilling his obligations towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being a correct person? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been generous to man, elevating him above all creatures. The human being must observe the miracle of his body and his mind, their functioning. It is these proofs that should lead us to demonstrate and present gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to appear before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to meet him by having honorable, righteous acts and at least a favorable balance of good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rebukes us for denying the day of resurrection. If you think of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already created, you should have no doubt that He can easily destroy His work and recreate and resurrect it again. We must face that inevitable day when noble guardians watch over us and record in writing all that we do and say in this life. These guardian angels continually watch over us. These noble angels forget nothing and accompany us constantly day and night. They know what we are doing. So let's try not to commit wrong deeds and avoid doing acts of bad faith, because they write everything. The records of our deeds and actions is a complete book of our life. It is prepared for each of us. Surah Al-Infitar exposes a series of questions on the day of the ultimate hour, the day when each soul will remember what it has done or omitted to do. Innal abrara lafi na'im. Most surely, abrar, the righteous person, who are the people of paradise, are in blessings. Innal fujjara lafi jahim, and most surely the wicked are surely in the blazing fire. Yaslawnaha yawm ad-din, and they get thrown, prop themselves against it in the blazing fire on the day of religion. وَمَا هُمْ عَنْهَا بِغَائِبِينَ, and they shall by no means be consumed from it, from the blazing fire. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ, and what is it that makes you realize what the day of religion is? ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ, then yes, what is that makes you realize what the day of religion is? يَوْمَ لَا تُمْلِكُ نَفْسٌ لِنَفْسٍ شَيْئًا وَالْأَمْرُ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلَّهِ. That day, no soul has power to do anything at all for any other, and the command on that day of permission shall be entirely to Allah. From Ayah 13 to Ayah 19, the good people will certainly be in a delightful garden, and the wicked would certainly be in a blazing fire, while they will burn on the day of retribution. They will be unable to escape. And who will tell you what is the day of retribution? The day of retribution is when no soul can do anything for another, and on that day the command will be entirely to Allah. From Ayah 13 to Ayah 19, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates here to the final outcome of the pious, the righteous people, the delights they will taste, speaking of those who obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and did not commit abusive acts of rebellion. The virtuous will experience bliss in gardens of delight. The virtuous person who always does good will experience a happy ending. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala evokes the fate of the perverts and the perpetual punishment they will suffer in the blazing fire. The one who is wicked and evil will end up in hell, and that is his retribution. All of us will enter our eternal home on the day of judgment. Each person's fate is determined based on what the angels have written down. No one will be able to escape their destiny, and no one will be able to leave their eternal home even for a second. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks a question, who will tell you what the day of judgment is? Then he repeats the question. This is a rhetorical style which is often used in the Quran al-Karim, which suggests that the subject discussed is difficult to understand for those who do not reflect and who do not seek to discover the meaning of certain signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala insists that everything we do will have consequences, both in this life and in the hereafter. The arrogant, selfish man is warned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created him, shaped him, and brought him to this earth with the most perfect details. The last ayat of Surah Al-Infitar talk about those individuals that do persist in disbelieving in the arrival of the last day and the existence of angels having watched over them throughout their existence. It also mentions the bliss that awaits the pious people in the hell where the wicked will burn, the day when no soul will be able to do anything more or the other, and when everything will belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In conclusion, the meaning of Surah Al-Infitar is strong and profound. It is a description of the day of judgment. Surah Al-Infitar talks about humankind's ingratitude and failure to accept the inevitability of the last day and the reality of the final outcome. The day of resurrection will come, and the righteous will enjoy all kinds of bliss in paradise, while the perverts, the haters, the wicked will be punished in hell. On that day, none will be able to take advantage of one another or anything. People will only be able to rely on their good deeds. Only the ignorant and the arrogant deny the eventual coming of the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a vivid description of what will happen on that day. It is not too late to change, in the contrary, because on that day everyone will stand alone before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, our Creator, and all powers of judgment will belong only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam. I hope that this small translation and explanation of Surah Al-Infitar was helpful. I wish you the best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye bye.